Hey there, Nocturnals. So I wanted to talk about Werner Herzog versus the 3-act structure. I've just got to that point in the Werner Herzog masterclass about scriptwriting, and it's talking about, his style of, or the way in which he sees scriptwriting compared to the 3-act structure, which is completely different from Blake Snyder's 3-act structure and all of the disciplines that he's been teaching. The question comes to mind, who's right? Is it Werner Herzog with his belief that the 3-act structure leads to mediocre and predictable films? Would you say that's relevant? Or his emphasis of writing with a sense of urgency, not necessarily at great speed or time constraints, but he says that he doesn't edit a word after it's gone down on the page. Immediately when I started to sort of hear this approach, I sort of shut off because, I've been learning the Blake Snyder's 3-part act, structure. That's actually been working quite well for me. But I think that Werner definitely has an approach that he's teaching that is a useful approach that obviously works for him. But not everybody is Werner Herzog, and not everybody can sit down in 2 to 5 days and write an entire feature script without any structure or without any leads towards the dialogue or the character development. And though I think there's certainly a place for Werner Herzog and his type of filmmaking, I think there's also a place for the 3-act structure. I think both of these different writers are correct. What Werner Herzog is teaching us is more of an artistic and creative kind of, or free-flowing way of writing. And what Blake Snyder is teaching is more sort of very planned, analytical, structured storytelling with certain beats at certain points in the story that help to give that structure a good backbone. And I think absolutely both of them are right for different reasons. So, and it comes down to a matter of taste as a scriptwriter, as a filmmaker, and the sort of films you want to make. I don't think that Blake Snyder's method will necessarily produce mediocre scriptwriters that are just sort of constrained in with the 3-act structure, because when you look a bit deeper, it sort of peels away the 3-act structure, and there's a lot more than 3 acts. There's almost like 5 or 6 different acts when it comes to the Blake Snyder method. So it's not as clear as Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It's more sort of Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4 sort of thing, and where Act 2 is broken into the sort of before the midpoint of the film and after the midpoint. And these are just two different types of filmmakers with completely different ways in which they do their technique of writing. And I don't think either of them is wrong. I think that if you want to apply the Blake Snyder technique of writing with the 3-act structure and sort of follow that discipline, the Save the Cat sort of discipline, that's also a perfectly valid way of writing, that you won't necessarily write mediocre films. You'll just be writing films with a solid structure behind them. In the same respect is that every film that Werner Herzog is going to produce from using his free flow way of writing isn't always going to be a masterpiece or isn't always going to be commercially successful, because it's missing some of the things that people are looking for when they go to the theatre to watch a story unfold in front of them. So he may actually alienate his audience, and I think again that's okay. Not everybody is Werner Herzog. It's the same as not everybody is David Lynch, and not everybody likes to watch a David Lynch film, or not everybody is Quentin Tarantino, and not everybody wants to sit down and watch a Quentin Tarantino film. All these filmmakers have different merits, different ways of approaching things. Some of them have taken from certain methods and then have adopted their own, or some of them, like Werner Herzog, are completely self-taught and have these very unique ways in which of creating films. And though he's very dismissive of 3-act structure, I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. He's not the god of filmmaking. He's just a very charismatic and successful filmmaker in his own right, and he has a right to an opinion. But I mean, I've had great success with applying some of the techniques from the Save the Cat books and to my filmmaking and to my screenwriting, which is helping to propel me forwards. That's not saying that if I didn't apply the the Werner Herzog approach that I wouldn't produce an amazing script, because I might very much do that, but and that's a good exercise in itself. But I'm not going to rely on one person's method over another person's method. I think in order to be an artist, that you should try different things. Sometimes you can start with the complete structure, the bones already worked out for you. Sometimes you just want a free flow and just go with things and trust your instincts when it comes to writing as well, and that may produce something wonderful as well. There is no guaranteed secret formula, even though there are good techniques that you can learn and apply to your writing and filmmaking. So that's what I think after watching the Werner Herzog masterclass on that, and still at the moment I'm listening to that Save the Cat Strikes Back, the third book in the series from Blake Snyder on filmmaking, on script writing, should I say. Both great material, both great resources for filmmaking and script writing, so you should definitely check them both out and make up your own minds about what kind of filmmaker you want to be, or just keep on experimenting and sort of settle on the decision of what type of filmmaker you want to be after you've played with things and found the things that work best for you. That's the best advice I can give on it. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.